In the 7th century CE, one man started a chain of events that would change the world order for good. The Prophet Muhammad united the people of the Arabian Peninsula through the formation of Islam. These people included both nomadic Bedouin tribes and the inhabitants of oasis cities like Mecca and Medina. Until Muhammad's time, the region hadn't been considered a serious match for the powerful neighboring Persian and Byzantine empires. But the alliance Muhammad formed was political as well as religious, an empire with Medina as its political heart and a force to be reckoned with. Muhammad was a one-of-a-kind leader. He had been a member of the Quraysh, the tribe that controlled Mecca. After Muhammad's death, those close to him deliberated who should succeed him, a contentious question. Abu Bakr, Muhammad's father-in-law, emerged victorious and became the new caliph, or successor. Over the next 30 years, 4 caliphs, all from Muhammad's tribe, conquered vast areas beyond Arabia, including their mighty neighbors, the Persians and the Byzantines. But as the empire expanded, dissent within it grew.
And this is where we hit Unit 1.2, Dar al-Islam, with this large caliphate being separated, being divided into different regions of Islam. And it's important to know that the continuity within these large Islamic empires was religion and language.
And a civil war erupted. The 4th caliph, Ali, was assassinated. Afterwards, the Umayyad dynasty came to power. The Umayyads were from the same tribe as Muhammad, but from a different rival clan. They extended the empire's reach from present-day Spain to India.
That's important to know, that this large Umayyad empire spread all the way from the Middle East and into Spain.
And made Damascus their capital. But an empire this vast, full of many different peoples, was at risk of conflict and fracture. The Umayyads stabilized it by replacing the ruling elite in conquered territories with Muslim officials, while largely allowing the day-to-day customs of local populations, including their religious preferences, to continue.
That's a big thing to remember, all right? This religious tolerance within Dar al-Islam.
Arabic was used as the administrative language, unifying political affairs across the empire. But people continued to speak and write local languages too. Still, many in the empire were dissatisfied with Umayyad rule and questioned the dynasty's legitimacy. The Abbasid family capitalized on these sentiments.
Here we go, into the Abbasid Caliphate.
Promoting themselves as more direct descendants of the Prophet, though their actual relation to Muhammad was more tenuous than they claimed. They overthrew the Umayyad Caliphate in 750 CE, becoming the second great dynasty of the Islamic Empire.
So you have the Umayyad and the Abbasid.
To establish themselves as the new rulers, they relocated the capital once more, this time building a new city, Baghdad. Under Abbasid rule, the elite enjoyed a lifestyle of luxury, thanks to extensive trade networks that brought both products and people from all over the known world to Baghdad.
That's important to know, that the Silk Road and these trade networks within Unit 1 and 2 were vital to spreading ideas, wealth, and religion.
Byzantine, Persian, Indian, and Arab cultures and knowledge intermingled.
You got to know that the three spreaders of Islam were Persians, Arabs, and Ottomans, the Turks.
Leading to artistic and scientific advancement. The caliph was wealthy and powerful beyond imagination. But there was never a clear line of succession dictating who would become the next caliph. Any male relative of the former caliph was eligible, so brothers, nephews, and uncles fought to gain power. Within the court, army officers, wives, concubines, and government officials all demanded their share of the treasury. Because the caliph depended on his entourage to stay in power, each transition of rulership opened the doors for favoritism and corruption. Outside the court, many questioned the legitimacy of the caliph, noting that the caliph's religious duty to moral excellence was at odds with the court's decadent displays of wealth. In 1258 CE, the Mongols approached Baghdad.
Here we go. Another Mongol invasion spreading all throughout Afro-Eurasia.
They encountered little resistance as they thoroughly destroyed the city. Legend has it that they rolled the caliph in a rug and had horses trample him to death, and that the Tigris River ran black from the ink of the manuscripts that were thrown into it. The siege of Baghdad laid bare a long-standing reality. For centuries, the caliphs had ruled mostly symbolically. Local leaders throughout the empire had grown more powerful, and they refused to pay taxes.
So that's a big thing, all right? The legitimacy of who these caliphs were going to be and the power that they held within these large empires. And so you start to see local rulers, they're the ones who really started to become these absolute rulers with power. Very much, remember, comparison and historical thinking skill, okay, of feudal Japan and the shogunate over the emperor, or the daimyos, all right, with their accumulation of wealth.
Spending the money on their own courts instead. The time of one united Islamic empire was over, but its influence, through written and spoken Arabic, Islam, and the ideas of its greatest intellectuals, left a lasting mark on the world.
So that's important to know in 1.2, Dar al-Islam, that's the history of it. How did they maintain and justify rule? What was their continuity? But we'll start to see a gradual change as our units go on.